Hey everyone, today I'm continuing with another video about DIY welding machines. A topic I love sharing because it's full of creativity and lessons from the older generations. In this video I'll talk about a small but important part, the spark plug. Back in the day, especially during wartime when materials were scarce, people had to make do with whatever they had. An old spark plug that seemed useless actually became a handy component in homemade welding machines, used to repair tools and keep production going. I really admire that kind of ingenuity, practical, clever, and full of determination. Even something as small as a spark plug carries a story of skill and resilience. And to make the connection easier, I'll soon remove the inner part of the spark plug. This way we can reuse the shell effectively. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Just like in my previous videos, this time we're making use of what's already around us. Here I'll be using the inner core of a used AA battery to make a homemade welding tip. It might sound odd at first, but the battery core is actually a very practical choice for this purpose. First, the carbon rod inside the AA battery conducts electricity at just the right level. It can handle high heat without melting or deforming too quickly, which is essential for a welding tip. Second, it's easy to find and basically free since almost everyone has some old batteries lying around. And finally, thanks to its durability and heat resistance, the core helps the welding tip work more steadily and wear down slower than some other materials, if you know how to use it right. This approach is both cost-effective and true to the DIY spirit, making something useful out of what you already have. Before using it, I'll clean the battery core. This removes the conductive powder sticking to the surface, which can cause unstable current, weak sparks, and uneven welds. Once it's clean, the current flows better, the heat spreads evenly, and the welding process runs smoother. As I get ready to shape the battery core into a welding tip, I'll mix the flux solution first. This step is really important because the flux cleans the metal surface, helps the weld stick better, and reduces splatter during welding. By preparing it properly beforehand, the welding tip will work more smoothly and the welds will look much cleaner. And the very first thing, our first material is a few small pieces of metal taken from a AA battery. These metal pieces will serve as the foundation for making the homemade welding tip, making the most of what's readily available, keeping true to the DIY spirit I've shared in previous videos. Our second material is toilet bowl cleaner solution, which we'll use to soak the battery casing. It might sound unusual, but this is an important step in preparing the flux solution. When the metal casing interacts with the cleaner, some oxide layers and impurities on the metal surface dissolve, making the metal cleaner. At the same time, the solution forms a light conductive chemical layer, which helps stabilize the sparks from the welding tip during welding. Alright, now it's time to make the homemade welding tip. Our homemade welding tip is now ready, and the next step is to attach it to the spark plug. But before that, I'll connect one end of an electrical wire to the welding tip first. Doing this ensures a secure and stable connection, so when the tip is fixed inside the spark plug, everything stays in place and doesn't move or loosen during welding. This step is crucial for making sure the current flows evenly and the welds are as effective as possible. To make the electrical connection more secure, I'll attach part of the wire to the body of the spark plug. This ensures the wire doesn't loosen or come off during welding, allowing the current to flow evenly and the welds to remain stable and safe. It's a small step, but very important for the whole setup to work smoothly. The other end of this wire will be connected to an alligator clip, which will attach to the positive terminal of the power source. I'll make an additional tool to connect to the negative terminal of the power source. This is a wire with alligator clips attached at both ends. In this video, I'll use a drill battery for the homemade welding machine because its specs are just right. It provides a stable current, strong enough for the welding tip to work well, and safer than many other power sources. And to connect to the positive and negative terminals of the battery, I'll use two metal bands as intermediate connectors. These bands help transfer a stable current from the battery to the homemade welding device, while keeping the connection secure and safe during use. It's a simple yet effective way to link the power source to the welding tip. So we've now finished building the homemade welding machine. I want you to watch until the end of the video so you can assess its performance accurately. These experiments succeeded easily, proving that the homemade welding machine we built can operate steadily. During the welding tests, the welds were even, spark stable, and the current flowed well, all exactly as we analyzed and prepared from the start. I hope this video not only helps you understand how to make a DIY welding tip and connect it to a power source, but also inspires you to creatively make use of materials around you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so I can keep making more DIY tutorial videos.